very much, and to the rest of the embassy staff for these arrangements. Thank you all for being here to share this with my family, and it's really fun to celebrate with you. Please pass along my thanks to Mario. I'm sorry he couldn't be here. And like you said, when he called to say that Chile wanted to extend this award to me, I was not only surprised, but very humbled, because frankly, the opportunity to have participated in something like this was gratitude enough, and no recognition was at all necessary. But when my children found out that there was a shiny pin involved, there was no going back. So I accept this with all humility, and I thank you very much for this. Very much. I will also extend the gratitude to the team at UPS who really executed the work, because without them and without that teamwork, it wouldn't have happened. You know, he recalled this story very well back in August of 2010, and you know, I remember watching it and being riveted by the fact that they were living off of 1/2 of a teaspoon of tuna, a sip of milk, and a half of a cracker every 48 hours. That's all of their ration was until they were discovered. And you know, when the note came up that said that they were all alive and they were in the shelter, the whole world breathed a sigh of relief. And you know, it was all riveting, but I think we all carry on with our daily life. And certainly for us, it became something that we check in on as we were drinking our coffee in the morning, but it was sort of background noise, unfortunately, because we all get very busy. And then, you know, as you say, for our family, August of 2010 was an extremely crazy time. We were packing up. I think we had just told our daughters that we were moving halfway across the world, trying to get them into schools, which many of you have experienced that experience, so you knew what it was like. Paul was winding up his job. And so my last day at UPS was scheduled to be September 10th. And it was, as you say, September 2nd when we got the call from the Chilean embassy, and you know, there was no choice. So of course you heed the call, because it was the right thing to do, and it was obvious that we needed to do it. And within 24 hours, having that plan in place, and 48 hours, things moving, and it was really rewarding. You know, a year later, I was in Washington on a business trip, and I had the opportunity to call Roberto Matus for breakfast, and we sat there, and we were being very philosophical, and we were talking about, we were sort of revisiting the whole thing and doing the what ifs. What if you hadn't called me? What if you know, what if it had been 10 days later and I had already left UPS? Would a call to somebody who you didn't have the relationship, would it have yielded the same results? So being philosophical, and maybe we were drinking champagne, I can't remember. But over our eggs, we came up with 3 lessons that we learned from that. One is that, you know, teamwork, of course. The teamwork is critical about this, and your chain is only as strong as your weakest link is. And so had anywhere along that line something not gone well, then it wouldn't have happened. We would have had a different outcome. The second thing was that relationships matter. Again, had he not known me and had we not made that connection, would the result have been the same? And then lastly, the other lesson was make the ask. You know, sometimes we're afraid to ask. Now, my daughters are not afraid to ask for a snack or a puppy or a pony. But sometimes I think as adults we're afraid to make that ask, and so I think it's an important lesson. And frankly, at that breakfast, I thanked him for asking me to help, because it was a great opportunity. You know, lastly, one observation about leadership. There was a great story of leadership both below ground and above ground and during this whole episode. Below ground, the miners really organized themselves in a way that helped them survive and helped them surpass these really tough conditions and help them stay together and survive, all 33 of them. But above ground, this was clearly a huge priority for the Chilean government and President Piñeros in particular. He was personally involved, and you could tell that this was his highest priority. And frankly, the whole world knew it. And he was not afraid to ask for help. And he got help. He got help from experts in the mining and the drilling and at UPS and at NASA. He got all of the help he needed. So I really applaud the way the Chilean government handled this whole thing, right down to the fact that you've chosen to give this award to somebody who played just a minor role in it. I thank you very much for this very, very distinguished honor.
Thank you.